Going to get a little serious with you. You know, you've been around Vern Gagne. You've been around all the great promoters. I'm going to ask you about Vince McMahon. You know, we all have heard the allegations all the way through. And I think you've been around through the Ring Boy scandal, through the steroid scandal, through the Rita Charlton issues. Am I saying that right, Jimmy? Charlton, right?
Yeah, I got you.
Were you surprised, Bill, about these accusations against Vince McMahon? And I'm going to go a little deeper into this, but I wanted to get your thoughts on that first.
Yes, and I can tell you this, and I've said the same thing in any interview I've ever had, and it's the God honest truth. On my son's life, I tell you the truth. No bullshit. I have never, ever, ever seen anything with my eyes of Vince doing any of these accusations of that he's accused of. And let me go much further. The same with Terry Garvin, the same with Mel Phillips, and the same with Pat Patterson. Now, they were all friends of mine, but that doesn't, I'll call a spade, let me tell you. And like I said, Adrian was an asshole, or Brian Knobs was an asshole. I'll tell you if they were. I never had any problems with those guys. And I used to take a lot of guys to TV tapings. I mean, up to 16 guys for enhancement talent for TV tapings. And never did Pat or any of those guys, and Terry Garvin and Mel Phillips were always there, never did they hit up on any of my guys or me or anybody else. I could just tell you that is a fact.
Well, Bill, let me ask you this, though. Again, we just full disclosure, Jimmy and myself, we're big Vince McMahon guys. We're
Absolutely.
big supporters of him for what he's done for the industry and as a human being and as a businessman. But again, we're not on the inside like you. You did hear the rumors, though, about the Ring Boys, I imagine, at some point with the boys talking, right?
I did hear the rumors. But in my mind, to be very honest with you, unless I had proof in my mind of something substantiated with my own eyes, I didn't pay attention to a lot of the rumors because I was thinking, well, how come this is only happening on the East Coast and not happening on the West Coast? I was mainly on the West Coast, but none of this happened with any of my guys all through the entire length of the West Coast. So what are these guys only gay on the East Coast and they're not gay on the West Coast? Honestly, that's how stupid it became.
No, but that's a legitimate comment, Bill. I mean, seriously.
It was like, well, like I said, you know, I'm joking about what I said earlier about me and Pat. Pat never hit up on me, and I'm telling you, in all honesty, I was a good-looking guy in those days, and it was like, okay, maybe he liked a different type of guy. We all like different types of women and all this. Yeah. Some people say a beautiful woman. They'll look at a woman and say, "Oh, she's beautiful." I might look at her and say, "Not my type." Maybe he looked at me and said, "Not my type." I don't know.
Bill, you seem a little hurt by that. Just got to share that with you.
Yeah.
Well, and years later, I was a little offended. I never got at least talked to.
Yeah, a little bit, right? a little challenge, right? Like, hey,
I would at least like to have said no.
Or at least a reach around or something.
Wow.
But hey, and let me tell you, I drank in bars with Pat. I never happened. Never any clue of it happening.
So, Bill, thoughts on the people that leech off the assassination of the character.
Wait, I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
Mike, feel free if you want.
Jimmy, you got to repeat that. You broke up.
Yeah. Say it again, please.
Okay, I'm sorry. What do you think about the folks that are capitalizing? You know, they have their own YouTube channels to capitalize on the character assassination of Vince McMahon and all these terrible things. And Mike, feel free to name drop if you want to. We know of a certain channel where they've been trying to destroy the reputation of the late Mel Phillips and Terry. And, you know, any thoughts on these people that basically just mooch off the you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch, Vince McMahon, and make money off it to this day?
I can only say that's just not my style, and I could never be a part of any of that. That's why I said to you a minute ago, in every interview, I don't care what kind of what kind of guys you guys are or anybody else, I'm going to say the same thing. You're not going to get me to badmouth guys that I have no reason to badmouth. Hey, let me tell you, if I saw Mel Phillips going down on some kid, I'd be the first to sit here and say, my God, you should have seen what I saw. It's not the truth. I never, ever saw it, and never even saw him talking to different guys on my ring crew.
Well,
And I had guys
let me ask you
15
this
on.
though, Bill, and I guess hypothetical. If you did see something like that, would you have interfered?
Oh,
Considering
yeah,
you're being, you're employed and you need the money and everything else, which we totally understand. I'm trying to ask you a hypothetical.
I would have gone as far as I could have gone. I would have done my due diligence to acknowledge it to the right people. I think there's certain ways you can do it without putting your job at risk. Unless maybe, I mean, I'm not saying unless, I'm saying there are, I guess, circumstances where the guy could say, if you tell on me, you're fired. But I can just say that never came up because it never happened.
Right.
Now, and I want to make it clear, that might have happened 4,000 times on the East Coast, but it didn't happen on the West Coast. And we did shows every month for many, 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 many years. Mel Phillips would come out and be in charge of the souvenirs on one of my shows, or a show that I was doing the ring crew. I was head of the ring crew for years on the West Coast, doing LA, Bakersfield, Phoenix, Sacramento, blah, blah, all over the place. Sacramento, Oakland, San Francisco, Cal Palace, all kinds of places, San Jose. And Mel Phillips would pop out, fly in, handle the souvenirs. Never had any of my guys say, hey, man, this guy just said something weird to me.
Right.
I'm scared, Bill. Nobody ever approached me, none of my guys. And I had ring crew. I had young guys that I was training at my wrestling school, good-looking guys, naive as hell, but not one of them ever approached me and said, I just got hit on, brother, and I don't like it.
Jimmy, we're getting the answer right here. Well, let me ask you this, Bill, then. When you see icons or former icons like superstar Billy Graham and Bruno Sammartino going on Phil Donahue and making accusations, are you second guessing yourself, or you're like, oh my God, these guys are as evil as everybody else?
I'm not second guessing Bruno, and I say this with all due respect. Billy Graham was my friend, a very close friend. I was at his funeral. He was a very close friend. Billy stated many times that he lied about what he saw. He told me that. He asked me many times to apologize directly to Pat Patterson, pull him aside at a TV taping and apologize on his behalf for all the words said about he saw Pat do this or he saw Mel Phillips do that. He told me to apologize to Pat. And I tried to, and Pat didn't want any part of it because he was very offended. I don't know everything Bruno saw. I don't know. Maybe he did see it. And maybe it's 100% true. Again, I could really,
just on the East Coast, though, Bill. Just on the East Coast.
Yeah, I can just say that it strictly. The guys behaved themselves when they headed west. When they got in the plane, they were straight as an arrow as they were heading west. I don't know. And I heard all the rumors about Vince. Heard them all. It's not the Vince that I saw at all the TV tapings that I talked to. That was all business. I never saw him flirt with other women, the hair girl or the makeup girl or this girl or some chauffeur or something. I never saw it. Again, it's an East Coast thing. It must be.
Being close with Superstar, he asked you to apologize to Pat and then he stuff like that. I know it's a very difficult thing, but did he ever entertain like coming out and saying, look, I might have said some wrong things? I mean, some lives were actually ruined from this stuff. From what we've had on with a lot of guests, Mel Phillips had a pretty sad ending, Any thoughts on those people that kind of like took part? And look, nothing was proven at the end of the day. Mike and I have explored this Ring Boy scandal deeply. We've had many guests on, and at the end of the day, all we've ever come up with, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, is a little toe fondling request and a kid sleeping in a cold van to stay away from him. That's all we've gotten. So, I mean, any thoughts on the fact that, maybe Superstar Billy should have come out and said, hey, maybe I should backtrack. Lives are being ruined here. Maybe.
Well, he went to Bill and asked Bill to apologize for him.
Yeah,
And,
well, I agree. I mean, I think Billy should have done some
On a
podcasts
public
and
level.
interviews and publicly made it more known that he was apologizing instead of telling me.
All right.
But I can tell you the honest to God truth. That's what he did. We would have lunch once a week for years at our favorite Mexican restaurant in Phoenix, and we'd spend 3-4 hours having lunch and talking the business, talking about history, movies, politics, blah blah blah. And every now and then, Pat's subject would come up, or the Ring Boy scandal would come up, and that kind of thing. And Billy would always say, please, brother, when are you going to see Pat again? And I'd say, well, excuse me. I'd say, I'm going to see Pat at Cauliflower Alley Club in Las Vegas coming up next month. And he says, can you pull Pat aside, just you and him, nobody's eyes, ears around, and apologize for me as his old friend and tag team partner, apologize? And I'd say, I certainly will, and tried many times. And Pat don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. Because like you said, Pat's reputation was hurt a lot by that, by a name of prominence, like Superstar Billy Graham saying those things. And it was just wrong. And Billy did the same thing with, a lot of other subjects too, He was
an angry man, right, Bill?
Unfortunately, yes, he was friends with Abdullah the Butcher for countless years. He even told me when they were working for Stu Hart together in the 70s, Butcher helped buy him a car once. Billy blew his engine up. Butcher volunteered to help get him a car, or gave him a used car, something to that effect. And then when a certain podcaster had a lawsuit against Abdullah the Butcher, Billy took that person's side and said, Butcher's a this and a that and a no good this, and forgot about his friendship with Butcher and what he did for him, the favors he did. And I don't like that, personally. I remember people that did me favors. As an example, just to change the subject real briefly, Superstar Bill Dundee in 75, he loaned Chris Colt and Mike Boyette and I a car when Chris blew his engine up. And Bill had a brand new Cadillac, but he had an old used car. He gave it to us. He's not giving us. He loaned it to us and said, here, guys, the rest of your tour down here south, you can use my car. That way you can make all your shots. And that's what a friend does. And you know what? Even more what a friend does is here I am 50 years later talking about it. And I remember what he did in 1975. And I speak honestly about it. Bill Dundee helped us. And that's the truth. And that's what you do when you have the truth to say, you speak it.
Couple things I want to cover, Jimmy.
Yeah.
500 level has now improved on the M&P code. Now go to MP30 for 30% off. Jimmy, I got to tell you something, right? I was at the beach again, 500 level. If you guys haven't looked at the shirts, right, go to the website. It's incredible. And I got to be honest, right? So it was a little chilly today. I brought the dogs to the beach. I was off work for the Jewish holidays,
today.
right?
Cold.
It wasn't cold,
Yeah.
but
Well,
I have from 500 level, I have a Roman Reigns sweatshirt. Now, usually sweatshirts are not always the nicest fabric, unless I'm into really nice fabric because I just don't like things up against my skin. So usually I'll get thinner type of shirts, but this is a heavy sweatshirt. The fabric, unbelievable. And you're going to get a deal at 30% off, Jimmy. I mean, my God, it's a no-brainer, guys. I am telling you, once you get one shirt from them, you'll get 50. I guarantee it. And
They're
they've got
so
all the sports.
comfortable.
Yeah, dude, tell me what you think of it, Jimmy.
They're so comfortable. I got to get a long sleeve now. I'm telling you, I got to, because it was chilly today, especially for a guy who's been in Panama City Beach the last 2 years. It was chilly today, and I love the material. It's so silky. Is that the right word for it? I don't know.
No, absolutely. Absolutely, dude.
It's so comfortable. So yeah, I got to get myself some leveled long sleeves. That's for sure. 30%
And again,
off.
it
No-brainer.
doesn't, they got plenty of wrestling stuff. They got baseball
Yeah.
stuff. They've got football. They got everything, dude. MMA. They got it all, man. And I'm telling you, it's very high quality. Again, 500 level code MP30, 30% off. So if a
Nice.
t-shirt costs you $20,
That's
what's
huge.
30% off on $20, dude?
It's enough. 10 plus another 20% tacked on top. Not much. It's a steal. It's a steal.
I agree. I want to remind everybody too, the Monte and the Pharaoh show, hit the QR code, be willing to check out our shows on YouTube, where we got almost 24,000 subscribers. Go to our Facebook page where we're approaching 27,000 subscribers. And again, if you feel like donating to the show, please go to the Monte and the Pharaoh webpage, hit donate. Helps us bring in more guests. Trying to entertain Jim. We've got the big event coming up, so a lot of good stuff happening right now.